The existence of Dhanurveda or science of archery can be traced back to ancient times as is evident from references in several ancient literatures. इतना पुराना है कि विष्णु पुराण वगैरह में भी इसका जिक्र किया जाता है. तो ये है क्या? दिस इज द इंडियन वर्जन ऑफ द आर्ट ऑफ वॉर. It is a detailed explanation of weaponry, of teaching weapons. It is basically archery, but along with archery, all other martial arts and strategies which are to be used in war, and how to select commanders for the war, how important is leadership, all that stuff. What if this knowledge of strategy in war and weaponry and archery can be used by everyone, can be used by martial artists, can be used in real life? Recently, I just read this kind of a summary or a translation of whatever is available from the Dhanurveda. So the actual Dhanurveda, we all know it is not, exact form is not available. But there are some translations available in the internet. I read that and I came up with 6 points that are like 6 basic teachings from Dhanurveda that I found important. There may be others. This is just my perspective. These 6 points can be used by martial artists, by sports people, or by people who just want to make their life better. These are just things that will make you go in a right direction or maybe give you some clarity when you have some doubts. This can be applied in martial arts, your business, or maybe your life. So there is a point I found in the Dhanurveda translation, that is, we learn Dhanurvidya or this martial art to protect good and fight evil. So it is to protect the innocent people, it is to protect what you believe in, and you have to stand up against the injustice or something like that. So this is not martial arts or a technology that you have or a vehicle that you have or any privilege you have in life. It's not just for your personal purpose. Dhanurveda teaches us that if you have something, you have to use this for the greater good, for society. And when we are talking about Dhanurveda, they are specifically talking about the art of war, the fighting style. So here's a sub point you can add. This is like about the Dhanurveda. Fighting in Dhanurveda is divided in 7 categories. 7 अलग-अलग type की चीजें use करके almost 7 different styles of fighting हो सकते हैं. The first one is archery. And archery is तीर कमान. Chakra is nothing but Sudarshan Chakra or a discus throw you would use, like it's a sharp thing you can, right? And then there is spear, bhala, sword, talwar, dagger, chaku, mace, mugdar, and the wrestling skills, that is, you need to know how to grapple, because when everything doesn't work, you need to get into the fight like that. So these are the 7 styles or 7 types of fighting in a battle. Someone who is a master of all 7 is called as an acharya, and he has the right to teach the art of war. Someone who has mastery in 4 is called as a bhargava. Someone who has mastery in 2 of this is called as a yodha. So that explains how organized these systems were in the past, because they had like correct hierarchy and like people who are expert in this. So anyway, moving to the next point is that the bowman is more precious than the bow. Or in other words, in the Dhanurveda, the second point that I thought was important for everyone is the archer is more important or more precious than the archery or than the bow. There is one more point which is similar. It is like the bow should not be overwhelmed by the string. So यहाँ पे mainly तीर कमान की बात होती है, तो उसका वो जो होता है string होता है, वो इतना टाइट नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपका बो ही टूट जाए. So it's about you. It is about the driver, not the vehicle. It is about the player, not the type of shoes he is wearing. It is about, of course, those things are important, but mainly it is about the student, not the kind of books he is reading. Because if he's a good student, he can learn. If he doesn't have online teaching platforms, he can learn. He can learn if he has a borrowed book, he can still pass the exam. There's a point that says Satyagni, or there's a weapon, or this is like a big slingshot or catapult which has to be placed on the borders of a nation. Fort के ऊपर ऐसा cannons and weapons have to be placed to avoid enemy invasions. Simple, very detailed point. How can we use this in life? It is saying that you do not need to make that problem bigger. As you know there is a problem, stop it where it is or stop it before it happens. इंडिया की हिस्ट्री में मैंने बहुत बार सुना है और हमने हिस्ट्री बुक्स में भी पढ़ा होगा कि मैक्सिमम वॉर्स वर फॉट इन लाइक समवेयर नियर पानीपत और समवेयर इनसाइड, लाइक that means we waited for the enemy to come in near Delhi and then we were fighting. So this one teaches us to eliminate the problem in the borders itself. Don't let it grow. So can be used in military, can be used in your own self-defense, can be used in your life. The next important point was when they were explaining about how flexible or how skilled an archer or a fighter should be. They're saying he should be flexible in his moves. Whatever he can do with right hand, he should be able to do with the left hand, because you don't find the same kind of cover everywhere. Like if there's a tree, I have to shoot in that context, if otherwise it's a gun or something like that. But the thing is, if one man is doing something in this position, if you have your friends and your home and your family and all the comfort in the world, they're all supporting you for your future project, only then will you give your 100%. If there are situations which are different, if there are situations where nobody is supporting you, even then you should be able to act in the same way. So not only using a weapon with right hand, maybe using a weapon with left hand or no hands. So being flexible in all kinds of situations is what we can understand from this point. The next important point was the arrow's direction should always be the target. We know what this means. Use it in your life. So the last important point I read in this was about leadership. So there are two things in leadership. It is like a leader in any group, any business, any military atmosphere. There is a leader and there is a group. So if the group is not very well organized, even a good leader will fail. On the other hand, if there is a group that is well trained, well organized, even they will lose because the leader is not good. So both are equally important, the army and the commander. So after reading this translation of Dhanur Veda, these are the important points I thought I'll share with you. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe and press the bell icon.